Thank you, Property Guru, for having me here today. Hello, Singaporean. How are you? Good. Hi, how many of you here bought Malaysian property? Can I see a show of hands? Wow, there's a lot. Thank you. How many of you have not buy Malaysian property but would like to own one? Can I see a show of hands? Just one. Or a lot of you shy to put up your hand. Okay. For those who have not buy any Malaysian property, I will highly recommend that you do buy it now. I will further explain to you why. Before you venture into invest in Malaysia property, I have two important things to share with you. First of all, I will share with you what is upcoming in Malaysia. Second things, I will share with you why do you need to buy it now. Okay? Okay, before I share with you all this, is it okay if I share a little bit about myself with you? Okay, thank you. Hi, my name is Vicky How. I'm a valuer by profession, and I'm also a certified property trainer. I've been in property industry for more than 10 years, and I started my first property investment when I was 23 years old. I created and designed templates and also formulas to help property investors to maximize their profit from property investment. So actually many people ask me, Vicky, why do you want to be a property valuer? In fact, property valuer is a very niche profession. It's not a well-known profession like lawyers or doctors or accountants. In fact, it is a male-dominating industry. So I started my property career as a negotiator at the age of 18 years old, inspired by my mother. My mother is a single mom who raised me up single-handedly and sent me to UK to study property. So when I was younger, we do not have a lot of money. In fact, I was brought up in a very poor family. I used to live in a wooden house with broken roof, and it's leaking all the time. So when I was young, when I went to my friend's house to pay a visit, I always wished that I have a proper brick home to stay. Of course, my mom couldn't afford it at that time. Until she ventured into a property industry, and our life completely changed. She began to invest in property, and that's how I learned most of my property investment technique from my mom. So whenever people actually ask me or tell me that or share with me their new purchase of the car, luxury car or luxury items, but they have not buy their first property yet, I'm actually very worried for this group of people. With the property prices that going up every year, chances that they don't buy it now, the chances are they might not able to afford it in the future. And a lot of my friends tell me that buying property requires a lot of money, which they don't have, which is not the fact. That's why I have a vision that I want to help people to own their first property. And by me sharing, I hope that I can able to inspire other people to buy their first property and also to make the right decision in their property investment. Well, that's about me. Shall we begin with the rest of the sharing? Thank you. Okay. What is in KLCC right now? If you have read something about Malaysia, we are very heated with a few of the news. First of all is regarding to your Singapore, which is the HSR, the high-speed rail. This high-speed rail has been long talked since many, many years ago. But recently it has been signed and awarded the contract to 6 consultants. So this will be having 3.5 million passengers traveling from Singapore to KL all the time. When we join up Singapore and Malaysia, in other words, that the distance will be shorter. So the distance will be shorter, that means people will actually move down to KL or to places that is near to the HSR. Okay, this is 90 minutes And this will be cost between 60 billions, and it will be completed in 10 years later. So a little bit facts about this HSR is that it will have 8 stations. And this 8 stations will be benefited from this whole SHR projects, including KLCC, including the Malacca, including Penang. And this will be creating a lot of jobs because distance is nearer. It will be having people travel from all over the places. It will become much more accessible in the future. Okay. The second thing that is coming up in KLCC is that the River of Life. This has been a talk since 5 years ago. You know, Malaysia, when they start talking about it, a few years later only they actually started this. So this one also, they just recently been awarded. And what is this River of Life? You know, Malaysia river is actually quite dirty, right? And whenever that's close to the river, a lot of developer doesn't like to build their development there because of bad image of the river. Due to this, our government actually spent a lot of money to beautify and cleanse this river. So this cleansing will be having 8 rivers that adjoining to the Klang River. So cleaning up this river means that it will be sustainable to stay close to the river. Besides cleaning up the river, they will also enhance the property that is close to the riverside. So this one will completed by 2020. Okay? And the third one would be the Tun Razak Exchange. I'm sure that a lot of you heard about this, but what is Tun Razak Exchange actually? Tun Razak Exchange, if you ever heard about Canary Wharf in London. How many of you heard about Canary Wharf in London? Okay? When Canary Wharf started out in London, a lot of people actually despise the success of Canary Wharf. Because Canary Wharf, they want to focus all the financial hubs in Canary Wharf. So what this does is they want to build a Canary Wharf thing in KL itself. It will have, this whole development is about 70 acres. And this will be completed by 2027. And it will have 250 financial institutions in that area itself. Okay, what is financial institution? Not just the banks, not just bank, but also the insurance companies and also the rest of the exchange company, Forex. So for example, HSBC will be in there, Prudential already confirmed to be there, and many other companies will be there. And this whole project, this 70 acres, will comprise about 40,000 skilled workers inside. Okay. So the fourth one is our Bandar Malaysia. So a lot of people might heard about Bandar Malaysia. So this Bandar Malaysia is actually very, very close to the HSR, high-speed rail, which I mentioned earlier. Okay. This Bandar Malaysia also been talking for quite some time. And they also just awarded to another companies. And it's already confirmed, and it will be also starting work soon. This 200 billion projects will be bumped into Malaysia. In other words, we have a lot of funds coming in from other countries or going out to other countries. And this whole thing will be joining the Singapore high-speed rail. And yeah, always you will see it on the news right now. Okay, the last but not least is the KBCC. This is not much of the talk right now because a lot of things has not been finalized, but it is so sure that it will be revived. It's called Kampong Baru City Center. Okay, if you have been traveling to KL City Center, you know that next to KL City Center there is actually a village. It's a kampong that has yet to develop. So what the government is going to do to this whole village, because it's in the city center, the government wants to maximize this whole piece of land. So they will be building high-rise buildings, and this one will be completed. The completion date is not stated yet, but this is ongoing projects for at least 10 to 20 years. So there's a lot of things in the KLCC right now. And why do we need to buy it right now? Okay, first, it's because of the oil price. If you know that Malaysia for the past few years is actually very soft, the markets, especially when the oil price dropped. So Malaysia is a country that's very much sensitive, property sensitive due to the oil price. Whenever the oil price drops, we have got retrenchment, and we have got some issue with the property. And also past few years, we have got about 100,000 of retrenchment due to the oil price drop. But right now, if you look into the oil price, it's actually slowly picking up. And whenever the oil price picking up, that means that it creates new jobs, especially to Petronas. Petronas is one of the biggest employer in oil and gas company. So due to this, when oil price slowly picking up, we also foreseen that many of the foreigner will come back to Malaysia to invest, and also expatriate will coming back to Malaysia to rent the property. As you see right now, the KLCC property, most of the property is not rented out due to this reason. And I foreseen that this one will be occupied, the occupation will be coming back also. And the second reason is the KLCC population. At the moment, KLCC having 300,000 knowledge skilled workers. By right, we are actually needed, if let's say 3 person in a unit, we actually needed about 100,000 units. And in KLCC city center, we don't have that much of units yet. And the rate of birth is growing, and the population rate also growing. And also foreseen that when expatriate coming back to Malaysia, there will be much more units taken up. Okay, and also because right now it's a buyer's market. Okay, the third reason is because of the influx of the traffic. Okay, besides Singapore has a medical center, Malaysia also one of the place where a lot of Indonesian, Thai, and also Vietnamese come to Malaysia for medical. And because of that, every year itself, we have 40 million visitors and 5,000 to 8,000 visitors to the hospital. And due to this, many of the units in KLCC has been used to do Airbnb and also homestay. Okay, the fourth and final reason why you should buy it now is many people are talking about buy low, sell high, right? Right now, what is the price that in property in Malaysia, KLCC, is the property price that actually falling towards downward. As I mentioned earlier on, the oil price actually increased. If the oil price increase, the property slowly picking up, and it will be eventually attract people to buy. And that when there's demand, the property eventually price go up. So as you see that since 2015, our price actually falls a little bit. And right now in KLCC, the price actually fall about 7.5%. Okay, and the people who buy property right now in KLCC also has been slowing down. But due to this reason, we know that if you're able to buy it right now, okay, which the price is so much lower, and you keep it and sell it later on, that will be different. Because right now, it's not a flipping session. There's a trend for each thing. So there was past few years, there was a flipping period whereby you just buy and you keep for a few months or a year or two, and you flip it and you will get some profit. But right now, it's not a flipping period that you can buy and flip. Now it's a period whereby you buy and hold. Okay, remember that a lot of times in Hong Kong, when the property market is very volatile in Hong Kong, okay, where a lot of people don't dare to go into it, Lee actually went in and they make the first profit. Similar cases, there are a lot of people don't dare to go into Malaysia, thinking that Malaysia, the currency is dropping, the politics is uncertain right now, and property prices are dropping. But the good news is, because of this reason, the property price is cheaper than before. Another good reason to look forward is that Malaysia has got a lot of mega projects in the pipeline. It is impossible that Malaysia will fail as a country in terms of economy. Well, that's all about the KLCC property markets.